Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to this special edition of Broken Not Shattered. I am your host, Ike O. And guess what? My boy is back, OBG. He's in the house.
Let me
OBG,
do that
today's
the
topic,
youngsters do
today's
it.
topic,
Hey, let me do that the youngsters used to do it.
okay. OBG. Man, today's topic is called
Will,
last,
every,
last.
will everybody chop
Everybody
breakfast?
everybody has been asking, where is Obi? Is Obi okay? Where is Obi? Is Obi okay? Where is Obi? Obi, tell
Wow.
them, where have you been, Obi?
last,
Last.
last, last. Well, I'll just put it in a very short way. I went for election and it was something to be talked about all the time. Yeah. But the time it was the election thing anyway. But I'm back. I don't know if it was nice to talk about it, but all the same, it was.
When you say you went for the elections, what exactly are you talking about?
So,
Because all our
so
audience
yeah, so
is
you look over
in
here.
Nigeria. I know Nigeria just had the elections not too long ago. You guys
Exactly.
last weekend and 2 weeks ago for the presidential. From all we've heard out here on the news, it didn't go well. There was a lot of discrepancies that took place, a lot of rigging, a lot of violence. The people's voice was not heard, and
Yeah.
those that believe that they own the country pretty much did what they do best. I know that's the part. But when you say you went for elections, were you part of the INEC group or something?
Yeah, so what I was trying to say to that effect is, I participated fully in the election.
Okay.
I was one of those youth who were actively involved, but who tried their possible means to get others to believe in the system, and then vote their conscience and vote the right candidate. And we stood for what we believe. But the unfortunate thing was that it didn't turn out the way the majority of the Nigerians, you know, um, had anticipated. There were so much irregularities. But aside the irregularities, it was, the physical abuse and then the tribal sermon, that tried to create, confusion and misunderstanding among fellow citizens. It was that bad. I think that was why I didn't support for a while. There's no point, coming off the shoe and trying to paint, pictures like it was all good. No, it was not all good. I was physically abused and attacked, for being um for coming from a particular tribe, which shouldn't be so. I was mocked and I felt bad about that. And I, from gradually, the message they were trying to sow into the mind of the ignorant citizens started taking effect. So people now started seeing themselves as enemies. Even friends started avoiding themselves. Neighbors, started being careful about how they relate to each other. So most people were no longer, safe in their neighborhood. In,
Wow.
because in some neighborhoods, people started attacking each other, and I was a victim of such anyway because in my neighborhood I was attacked and I felt so unsafe. A kind of, but the time it's dying down, and people are gradually coming to the realization that this was just um, propagated to achieve the ambition. I mean, the ambition of the wicked politician and enemy. So gradually, tensions are dying down, and people are coming back to their usual life. And that's just about that. Anyway.
I must say, just listening to you speak, I know you're not as clear as I wanted you to be. Your audio is a little muffled. Could be where you are, but I could hear what you were saying. I just hope our audience did. I understand now that things are dying down. And everybody's saying, "Calm down, tamper down don't be too charged in the country so the country doesn't go ablaze.
Yeah.
But you see, it's amazing how when things like this happen, right? No one says anything. Literally, those that you expect to speak up to be the voice of reason and advocate for peace, regardless of wherever they come from in the country, whatever ethnic background they have, they don't say anything, right? Then after the mayhem has now been done and assignment has been accomplished, then you now start calling for peace and calling for some kind of calmness in the country. Where were you when it was happening? You could have said something while it was actually happening. Say, no, this is wrong. You can't do this. Because you see, injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. It doesn't matter who's the victim. One area could be a victim this time around, but how about when it happens on the other side of town and the other people are victims? What do you now say or do? You know, so it's very sad that a country like Nigeria that has apart from the most populated nation in Africa, maybe in the world, I don't know. But the issue is that they're also very highly intellectual and smart people that live there and have come from that part of the world. I mean, if you look at all the top bankers, the top physicians, the top lawyers, 1 out of every 10 here in America happens to be a Nigerian. And people run for office here, regardless of wherever they come from. I know Nigerians who are mayors. I know Nigerians who are in heavy political positions out here in the US. And then someone is talking about tribe or your ethnicity in Nigeria in this century. That's very sad. It is very, very sad. I'm sorry, my brother, to hear that you've been you were a victim of the violence and got beaten up and mobbed by these guys. It's not easy for people just to mend hearts. I keep on telling folks, you know, when you break people's hearts, you think everybody's heart mends. Some people's heart, they never mend, right? They never mend, and they could be broken but not shattered, right? But that broken heart is still there. That mistrust and that seed of discord has already been sown. Yes, you're saying let's move on, but in the back of your mind, you're saying in the next 4 years I'll be a victim. In the next 4 years, you might attack me. If it rises again, if the news arises again, I'm your target. And so with that, you will always be on your guard. Wherever you are, you always be looking for your back. And I think that should not be the case. I don't think that should be the case with Nigeria, anywhere else in the world at this particular time. It's very disappointing.
So you know the bottom line is you don't make peace without justice. You know, and I can't just come and I can't threaten you and say I'm going to do this to you. You know, and your child also comes to say I'll do this, I'll do that to you, and then comes up to carry out that, and then you come up and say, okay, let's forget about every other thing that has happened, without calling out your child to say you did this, it is wrong. You have to be punished for doing this. So let's make peace.
Yeah.
And you feel that, but you're just silent about the whole thing you carried out, the whole thing you do, you know, and you just want the people you have carried out these negative things on to just keep calm and then come back to you and hug you and say that's fine and move on. No, that's the bad part.
It would take the grace of God.
Yeah, exactly. You really take the grace of God. But how many persons are coming from that point of the grace of God? You know, I think I sent a picture to you. I sent a video to you for you to have an idea of what the common man feels, you know, that has happened to him or her here. The people are really grieved to that point. When you could see a woman lose her pride, go naked, not just one, not just two, just to air their inner mind, you know, because they've been deprived from every other voice that can hear them. So they are left with no option than to do that. So this is just a fraction of how it is all over, you know. But all the same, we're coming out strong.
Yeah, that's the most important part of it, my brother. That folks are coming out and coming out strong. I'm an advocate for peace. But Gishaka Washima, Nyaka Washima, Wala. Yeah, seriously. But I'm a real advocate for peace. I believe in harmony and unity among individuals, people, persons. Even if we don't get along, let's just have mutual respect for each other and take it from there. Because the same person you're bullying and attacking today, you're gonna see them in the plane, you're gonna see them at work, you're gonna see them at church or in the mosque. You're going to see them different part. You're going to see them in the market square. You're going to do business with them. You're going to see. You're going to go to their banks. You're going to enter their car, their Ubers drivers. You're their passenger. Where do you start and where do you stop? Because the country is so integrated that at this time it is so wrong for anyone to get away with this kind of
I want to tell you something. I want to tell you something that I've always been an open-minded person. I accommodate everybody respectful of my tribe. And I had someone who is not of the same tribe with me, living with me in my own apartment. It is my own house. I paid for it. And I had to, just because I needed to help someone. And I see everyone as we're all human, right? And they were all Nigerians. Second, then your tribe can come if you want your tribe to come. And if the tribe should come in, it should be, the beauty of diversity, our cultural difference. So we appreciate each other, I appreciate the beauty of our tribes and tongue and all that. And this happened. So you can imagine how I would feel that you profiled me wrongly and I have your son living with me in my house.
Yeah. So, it's that. So did you get to carry out your civic duties? And you don't have to tell us who you voted for. Just did you? Yes or
no? I could not. I don't want to talk a whole lot because a whole lot happened.
No, I don't want you to talk a whole lot.
When they said voter suppression and intimidation, I witnessed it.
Wow.
During time. If you call me for interview anywhere, I can speak to it. I was there. I saw the voter suppression, and even when out of pressure, I agreed to say, okay, for them to stop beating me, I said, okay, I will vote for your party. So it was no longer open ballot. They had to follow me to the ballot, the secret ballot box to see the party that I'm going to campaign. And so what I did was to void my vote and say, whatever it is, let it be. But man, I'm not going to be pressured to go against my way. And so it was a whole lot happened anyway, bro.
Man, that's a conversation that I would like to have with you off camera, literally. But this is serious business. But let's just move on, and we trust that the God is still working out what He wants to work out in Nigeria and on the continent of Africa. But like I said, you guys should keep on standing for what you believe, and don't let anyone push you back. Sometimes these things take a while. I live in America. America's democracy is almost 200 years plus. They didn't get there in one day, so just keep on pushing. Hopefully the world will hear your voices and the voice of the youth of Nigeria and what you guys stand for. In the meantime, my brother, let's take a short break and then we'll come back and dig in some more into what we want to talk about today. Welcome back to the show, Broken Not Shattered. It's your host, Ike O, and OBG. OB is back in the house after being away for some civic duty responsibility. If you listen to the first part, you will hear what Obi was talking about. Obi, guess what? Last, you're here. last, you're here. Obi, the last couple of weeks you've been away. I think I had my last host, Dr. May. She came while I was in Italy. I was able to interview her while she was in Lagos. I know you watched that interview.
Yes, I saw it. It's a great movie. Yeah.
A lot of people have come back to me and DM'd me, and they were like, "Wow, it's amazing where people see the joy of interviewing May is she's what I would call all woman, right? So when you see a
Mhm,
woman who's very, very smart, uh,
mhm.
very hardworking and industrious, and highly
Okay.
intelligent, right? And then she's also very soft on the eyes, right? So she was a former beauty queen in Nigeria, and she has a doctorate in, I think, law, right? PhD in law, and she's spent a lot of her time advocating for justice across the world, Africa and in Europe. Um, she's working in the field of human trafficking with United Nations and all those big organizations out there. She's speaking for the rights of young girls and all the stuff. And then she's an entrepreneur. She runs one of the largest skin cares on the continent. Why am I saying all this, right? I'm saying all this because there's a young girl out there who is wondering, where do I go?
Yeah.
Where do I go and how do I make it in life? There's something that May said. May said that the problem is everybody is trying to be like someone else
Someone else.
ins-
Exactly.
instead of being themselves and find out what their purpose is. Because at the end of the day, it is the authentic you that comes out,
That's it.
right? It is the authentic you that makes the impact.
I
What
agree with you.
about that particular thing she said? I think we had it on our. If you didn't watch the show, please go back to Broken Not Shattered. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and watch that show that we had with Dr. May Ikora. Um, Fantastic. I had about 50 people, if not more, send me
Wow.
messages like, wow, it's so different hearing this from someone who we see as a businesswoman and not understand that there's another side. And she talked about being broken and how she was able to stay strong out of friendship and relationships that are around her. Your thoughts, Obi?
So she's what I would call total package.
Yes.
A go win. A go win.
I don't know what that means, Obi. Full disclaimer. Full disclaimer. They'll come and track you down. What's it gonna be?
So because you said she's soft on the outside,
She's
and you're just
I didn't
giving
say
them
she's soft on the outside. I said
you
she's
said
soft on the eyes. See now,
soft
we are saying that I said she's soft on the outside. I haven't touched it, so I wouldn't know whether it's soft on the eyes. I beg you.
on the
She
eyes,
told me
I'm
she's soft on the eyes. That means she's a very young lady, and with
all
all
the same. All the same, I agree with you, and I agree with her. Um, like you said, for me, it was quite inspiring, and I began to look at it. If you could remember, we've had uh, one of our sessions when we talked about what were we talking about, and I had to make reference to those days when we see one of the things that was a motivating factor for me, seeing on campus those days, seeing fine ladies or fine female students who are bright, smart, and at the same time, up for God. It's always an encouraging thing and a turn on for me. And she's also, one of those. I mean, she represents one of those kinds in our recent time. That she all round, she's good. She's got everything, and yet, she stands to inspire as many young lady out there. And I think others can take it too from there. One of the things I was able to pick from there is, irrespective of how wonderful people look outside, they have a battle they are fighting.
oh, definitely, definitely.
Yeah. And irrespective of what level of success we may have achieved, we fought battles before we got to that point.
That's
And
true.
again, it takes being focused to achieve whatever you can put your mind on, you can achieve. So you see, all she was able to achieve over time didn't just come at once. It was one step after the other, one step after the other, and she stayed focused. Were there times it was broken? Yes, but she never allowed her broken nature to keep her down. And today she has built a whole lot of story for herself, platform for herself, so people could look at her and be inspired. And I'm saying this because there definitely might be someone out there who probably might be on the level one of our life.
Right.
You don't have to be like her, but you have several levels waiting for you that you can just take your time and climb to that point, and people will begin to do that and be like, wow, so you made it to that point. So it was quite an interesting one, and I believe that. I believe that.
Yeah, there was that's very insightful. There was a young lady that we spoke to last weekend.
Yeah.
We didn't bring her on the show because after we finished talking to her, we realized that this platform was not the platform that she needs to be on. Apparently, she's been in a marriage for, I think, 15 years, if I'm not mistaken, or less than that. I can't remember what the years were again. And it was been a very abusive. She says it's been a very abusive marriage. Um, she's she's gone through a lot in her marriage, according to the story she told us, and she wanted to come to Broken Not Shattered to speak on her story. But when I
Okay.
sat down with the rest of my team and the rest of the team, I know you were not available then, and we listened to her carefully to find out whether she makes this. Because see, I want to know everybody's intent before they actually come on the show. I
Yeah.
try to find out their intent. If their intent, if their intent does not match what this platform is all about, which is giving voice to the voiceless, hope to the hopeless, and giving empowerment to those who don't have any source of empowerment, um, then I'm not sure whether this is the platform for you, because we
Yeah.
want to really inspire people. Well, I listened to her story, and as sad as her story was,
Okay.
uh, I wasn't sure whether this platform was the place, because it appeared to me that she was still hurting and she was still in pain from what she has gone and what she's still going through.
Yeah.
And also the fact that, oh, she's written a book about it, but she hasn't healed yet, she's still going through the process. That if we have brought her out on this platform, she will just, it will be more of trying to shame her spouse, right? And I wasn't even sure if she was in a safe place. So if you now come out and shame this man and he still has access to you, what happens afterwards? You might end up being beaten to a point of this, um, to a terrible state. So what
Yeah.
we use our contact with one of our guests, Joyce, that we had on the show some months ago, and we gave her the contact to reach out to Joyce. So if you're here and you're listening to us and you're going through any sort of abuse, or any kind of abuse in your marriage or your relationship, and you need help, please feel free to reach out to us. Send us a message on Instagram, send us a message on any of our platforms, and we will try to get your information across into the right hands. We have a lot of partners now who we can now work with, and we send you into the right place, the right direction where you can get help. And also, if you're dealing with any struggles with mental health or any issues of depression, anything is, or there's any traumatic experience, please also reach out to us wherever you are. We're making that call to you. Reach out to us, and we will be able to assist you, or by pointing you in the direction of some clinicians that we know that might be able to work with you and give you the help that you need. Don't take this journey alone. We are here as partners. Um, we've actually been through some traumatic experiences ourselves. We're not victims. We've overcome, and that's why we're taking our own experience, put it out on the platform to encourage you and inspire you wherever you are. So, last, you might be broken, but you're not shattered. Obi?
Sure. So last, I agree with you. There's something great about you. Last, I need you to come to a point where, like I will always say, develop the mindset of speaking positively to yourself. You there's this saying that the lizard fell from the tree and looked around. There was nobody to encourage him, and he did his head like this. He encouraged himself.
He said, what fell? The lizard?
the lizard fell from a tree.
Okay.
So that's why. So the people. That's the saying around why lizard always do his head like.
Oh, shakes his head. Okay. Okay. Mhm.
So when you can't praise me, I'll praise myself. So look beyond. Sometimes we are always depending on people around us to approve us. There is so much expectation from our environment. I mean, we expect a whole lot from our environment to either applaud our behavior or disapprove us. But we are supposed to live and enjoy life as human beings. And we've given the mind, to decide what is good and right. But first, very important, try to build a comfort zone for yourself that will encourage you, because your growth and your success will have to start from the point of acceptance, first, self-acceptance and self-love. So you must begin to appreciate yourself however you look like, however you think. Now, see yourself always, I'll say this very clear, always see yourself from the positive side. One thing God did when he finished creation, Bible said he looked at what he has created, and Bible said, and the Lord said
It was good. It was good.
Yeah. So if the Lord God looked at what he created and said it was good, you are part of that creation. It means
you're good.
Yeah. So if you stammer, begin to look at yourself from the positive perspective of stammering. If you're born with disability, begin to see the advantage of being disabled. First, develop a positive mindset.
Amen.
Think about yourself, and then that will help you to begin to progress. And now look at what one thing that positivity does. It is like a magnet. When you think positive, you attract positive things around you. You attract positive minds around you. But you're full of negativity. Same goes. You attract negative people around you. Always cut off bad energy. Last, stay to be great and keep that positive mind.
That's a very, 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 very powerful saying, bro. You definitely spoke into the life of someone who's out there. I hope that you got what Obi said. Please just stay positive, have that positive mindset, and because iron sharpens iron. If you stay positive, you attract people who are positive around you. If you stay negative, you attract negative energy, and nobody has time for that. Ain't no one got time for that, So so let's just stay positive. Obi and I are going to take a short break, and then we'll be back and then wrap up for this particular edition of Broken Not Shattered. Wow, Obi. So we're making progress, man. Thanks for that very, very insightful word that you just gave out there. I think someone is going to hear it and say, wow, thank you, Obi, for speaking into their lives. Guy, it is almost time for us to wrap up the show for today. I want to say a big thank you and glad to have you back. I'm enjoying this, your shirt you're rocking. You feel like the guy. You feel like a soft guy. Aleka. You feel like Aleka. Oh man.
Again, I'm smiling. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. You see, the weather is lovely and bright out there. It's raining cats and dogs here. And I have a flight to catch in a few hours. And please do take care of yourself. I just said the word Alika, and I remembered my late uncle, Uncle Obulna, of blessed memory. Every time he saw me, you like Alika.
It's common with my people.
Yes, he's a great guy. Great guy. May his soul continue to rest in perfect peace wherever he is. That was my closest uncle, and sort of blessing. I don't want to get teared up in this show, so let me just stay focused. All right, guys. So, Guy, in our famous, fabulous, and inspiring 3 words, we declare peace, love, and more grace.
More grace.
You. And please join us next week. Please go to our platforms on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram if you can. Broken Not Shattered. We have a lot going on there. Just click like all of the things that we're doing. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and share what you see here, because this platform, by God's special grace, is here to stay. All right, my brother. On to next week.
See you.
All right, brother.